I'm just going to get started for anybody that has not met Neda. Neda is with Bright, and she is our area rep, and she's the one that helps us through when we're getting crazy about different things. And she also helps me with teaching people when they're just getting on to Bright. Kurt is, what are you, Kurt? I don't know your background. Neda said she was bringing you, so I thought maybe it was a date.
No, Kurt, he is our VP, so he's the and he can go into detail on what we both do. So,
I'm a regional vice president for Region 3. That doesn't really mean anything to you, but I handle central Pennsylvania, southeast Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, and the state of Delaware. And I work with all of our success coaches like Neda to help provide as enhanced customer experiences, gather information, provide training that's hands-on, etc. So we're really responsible for the customer satisfaction and experience for all of our areas in our different patches that we have.
Perfect. Thank you, Kurt.
Sure.
So Neda, Kurt, do you want to start? Neda, do you want to start? Do you want to?
Sure. Can Kurt share his screen?
Yes, let me give him security. If they gave me host, let me see if I can give you security.
Okay. Because he's going to show and go over PowerPoint. So
I think he should be able to, Kurt.
Yep, I'm right here. Let me share my screen very quickly. All right. Oops. I hit the wrong button. Well, my presentation. I'm sorry. Hi,
I thought you were talking fast.
And I was just doing a quick review before we got started today, and I forgot to hit start on the start of the presentation. I apologize for that. But again, my name is Kurt Miller, and thank you all for having me here today. Periodically, I like to meet with our biggest and most influential firms to sort of discuss what's going on right now. And it's been a long time since we've really had an opportunity to reach out to our offices. I mean, normally we'd like to do things in person and get everybody into the office or at the association for broker meetings, but we've all been kind of adjusting, you know, and it's kind of remarkable how resilient this industry has been through all of it during this very interesting year. I was going to take a little of a moment here as we come into the third and fourth quarter of 2020 and take a look at, well, what happened exactly? How has it affected the marketplace? How is it changing the attitudes and expectations and wants and needs of our clients and our customers? How has that impacted the marketplace? And then how are we as Bright moving forward and trying to do more to help you meet a lot of these ever-changing expectations as we move into 2021 and beyond? And so first and foremost, again, we can't ignore the elephant in the room of what happened in 2020. Things started out really hot. We saw huge amounts of inventory coming into the marketplace. And then a once in a century pandemic occurs and everything changes. And it's interesting to see how that has changed for customers and their clients, how that's impacting the market, and even how we're expecting certain aspects of this to become permanent or to a degree permanent as we go forwards. I don't know if I noticed, but just a couple of days ago, Microsoft made an announcement that they expect to have permanent work from home for a large portion of their staff. And if anybody's familiar with Microsoft as a company, there are entire neighborhoods in Seattle that are only Microsoft employees because of how they valued having their employees so close to home. But these things are changing, and it doesn't appear to be temporary. These are very thoughtful changes to help people better do their job where they want, how they want, as long as they're able to produce as well. These are going to have long-lasting impacts on our business and all businesses across the country. So one thing we wanted to understand was get a better idea of how are your customers and your clients reacting to what's going on out there. So a little while ago, we did send out a back-to-school survey to all of our subscribers. We had over 1,000 of our subscribers respond to share all of the different wants and needs and changes of priority that they're seeing happening within their marketplace with their customers and their clients. And it actually gave some pretty interesting results. Some of them are obvious, not all of them are though. One of the biggest ones that sticks out is 84% of parents are considering or have to do a home education model for their kids this year. And I'm living it right now. I have 3 kids. I have a 4-year-old, I have a 5-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old. And so I have a preschool, a kindergartner, and a 5th grader. And they're all Zooming right now. Now, how has this kind of impacted me, impacted everybody else? Well, space is a big problem because I have my daughter at the desk in our kitchen. I have my one son across the kitchen and the kitchen table. My other son in the living room doing his preschool work there as well. And that puts a stress on internet. So broadband became much more important to me, getting the Comcast gigabit speed, whatever it is that you have there. But even that wasn't enough. So I had to go out and get Google Wi-Fi mesh so that I could help prioritize my signals, because I kept getting cut out because of all the schoolwork that was getting done. So right now I am prioritized for the next 2 hours so that if anything's going to fail, that's going to be my kids' class. And you know what? They don't pay the bills. So we're going to have to make that concession that they have a choppy connection that they have. But these are all things that parents are really struggling with right now. We made the decision to go cyber in July because our school district couldn't figure out what was going on. So again, this is all added stresses. And then for parents and the homeowners themselves of having to be able to manage that home and the stress levels involved with working and parenting and being teachers at home. All this is having huge impacts. So how is that sort of translate to the quarantine effect? Well, 58% of respondents say there's an increased interest in suburban areas. So it's not just in the home space that's very important, but again, if you're living in urban areas, you're getting really concerned about going to parks where you used to go to get your outdoor activities, now don't feel as safe as they did anymore. So more and more you're seeing a urban flight. And we're hearing a lot of it in New York and out of Seattle and out of Los Angeles in particular. I was just at the Inman Connect conference not too long ago, and there were brokers talking about how their clients, very affluent clients, are telling them, draw a radius around New York City of 200 miles. And I want to live anywhere outside of the city within 200 miles. And that's how people are searching now. So this new interconnectivity has accelerated this trend towards virtual work. And now that people feel less safe inside of these tightly packed urban environments, it's accelerating people movement out of urban areas into suburban areas to find more space. And also with 59% having school-age kids, it becomes even more important in that way. Now, what's motivating them? Again, 55%, our largest amount, was the need for more space. But secondly was mortgage rates. Mortgage rates have been a huge motivating factor right now for clients and buyers to get into the marketplace and purchase a home. Now, we have to track that because great interest rates we're starting to see that happen during the pandemic. Those the monthly affordability is probably going to get hit a little bit, right? Even with lower interest rates, but people can afford more house now than they could before, and hopefully more housing is now available to them because they're able to afford that month-to-month overhead on that property as well. So that's going a little bit into how the market has been impacted. Let's talk about that a little bit more, because we've seen how our customers are reacting to the pandemic marketplace. Well, how is that translating to just the numbers? What's going on inside of the marketplace overall? So let's take a look at the market trends in Delaware overall. And then we're also going to dive into Sussex in particular, because we did find some very unique things that are going on inside of Sussex right now that are of great interest to Bright and hopefully of great interest to you as well. First and foremost, in Delaware, we saw the definition of pent-up demand in terms of showings that happened during the spring as COVID came in. Now, we came into the February, March area, and we were outperforming where we were in 2019. So the blue line is 2019, and the orange line is 2020. And then guess what happened? Well, the obvious happened. We got slammed with COVID-19. And then all of our showings plummeted. They didn't disappear, but they went down quite a bit. And even this happened, even in Delaware, where basically real estate remained essentially essential throughout the entirety of the year. But it still impacted showings because even if you could do showings and get physical access to the property, you couldn't do that in Pennsylvania. People didn't want to. Nobody knew what was going on, right? You don't know if this is Ebola or if this is like a light flu, and you find out it's kind of somewhere in between of those two things. But everyone retracted as what happens when an external force hits a marketplace. Everyone retracted. And even today, as we take a look at inventory numbers, there's still a lot of people who might want to sell their home, but who don't have to, who are still keeping it off the market. But as the market reopened up and people got more comfortable, we have seen a resurgence in showings coming through, and the showings are still moving well into the fall here. We're through September, and we're actually operating in June and July levels in terms of showings in this market. So we're taking a look at all the demand that's happening right now, realizing the demand's not dropping off. The showings aren't dropping off moving into the fall. We see no real slowdown coming up anytime soon. If I took a look at the pending contracts as well, week to week new purchase contracts, we can see the same thing. As soon as real estate was opened up a bit more, we've been operating well ahead of 2019, the entirety of the year in terms of new purchase contracts. Week after week, we are beating the previous year, and it's been flat. We went above 2019, and we've stayed there even through September. So I'm taking a look here, and if anybody was looking at taking a break this fall and had a really busy summer and worked hard through the spring for not a whole lot of results, you're not going to have much opportunity for a break, it doesn't look like, because this pipeline is filling up and it's staying full and likely going to be pushing through all the way into the winter in terms of the traditional amount of time it takes to close. So if you're signing new purchase contracts this week, I expect them to close in November or December. So we're going to look at having very busy activity all the way through the fall of this year. And then we also have what, I'm sorry, I have to move your faces over here. The closings coming on strong now. So again, we saw the home market get delayed about 2 to 3 months. So all these new purchase contracts are now coming to fruition, and now we're just starting to see us outperform 2019 in terms of week-to-week closings. And again, we're remaining strong throughout the entirety of the fall with the new purchase contracts coming through, strong showings. The only thing that could possibly be a bottleneck to this market is inventory. And if I take a look at inventory, we're actually coming in higher than we ever have. So we're looking at September, and we're looking at September at July numbers, with everything getting pushed over. So we're getting more inventory on the market week to week now in September than we saw in what traditionally would be a spring marketplace. So the fall is the new spring, it appears, as these new listings come into the market, which makes it really, really interesting here when we take a look at it. Because, yeah, are we operating above where we were last year now? But even if I take a look at new listing contracts, look at where we were compared to last year. Even during the pandemic, because real estate remained essential in Delaware for the vast majority of it, we didn't really see much of a dip in new inventory from week to week. So you're likely going to have better inventory this year than you did in all of 2019, which would break a 5-year trend, and we're breaking a 5-year inventory trend during a pandemic, which is kind of shocking if you really take a look at it. We're only seeing this happening in Delaware, by the way. And also, if I take a look at the earlier this year, the big story, as I mentioned it before, is the year that could have happened in inventory. We were doubling inventory in the first time of this year, at the same time last year. If there hadn't been a pandemic, imagine what everybody felt comfortable listing their house. Imagine what that would look like in terms of inventory. Because we're very confident that we could add 20 to 30% inventory today to this market and not significantly impact days on market or a median sold price. It would get gobbled up. There's that much demand that is out there right now for housing. So what is driving this demand? What is driving this inventory that we're seeing inside of Delaware, but not really anywhere else or any other state to this degree? Well, we went and did a quick dive, and first I got great feedback from Neda, who was talking to a lot of you out there, talking about this new construction boom that has been going on inside of Sussex County. So we did a deep dive into new construction to see what's really going on here. And we found remarkable results. If we take a look at 2019 for new construction listings, we're seeing that Sussex County, Delaware is third in our entire footprint. You're just behind Washington, D.C., a major metropolitan area out there. That is beyond impressive. And you're not far off. You're just behind them in terms of new construction in 2019. And being not supported by a major metro, it really is phenomenal to see this type of new construction growth. And right now, last time I checked, over 40% of the active listings inside of Sussex County are new construction. Imagine what your inventory would look like. The average is under 20% by of all the states that counties that we cover. And Sussex is over 40%. So imagine if we didn't have that new construction inventory, the amount of tightening and the ratcheting down that would happen inside of this market, where you just could not meet that demand. Where's that demand going to go? It's going to go elsewhere. So this market's really blessed to have that amount of participation from new construction. When we look into 2020, it hasn't slowed down at all. We take a look here from 2017 to 2020, you've seen your new construction listings more than triple. And keep in mind, we're not even through 2020 yet. I mean, more than double. I'm sorry, not triple. We're probably going to triple the new construction listings in 2020 that we saw in 2017. And in terms of new construction sales, and again, these numbers are actually a couple weeks old, is that we are already on track to well more than double 2019 new construction sales. And there's almost a 1-to-1 ratio between what is listed and what is sold in terms of new construction. These things are flying off the shelves. You can't keep them on there and expect them to keep there. And one thing we're very happy to see with this is that not only do we think that new construction has grown at this rate over the last 4 years, probably not quite as quickly as this shows. It's probably been here a bit longer, but we have very strong information that new construction participation in the MLS has grown at a very high rate. And speaking with new construction companies, getting some feedback, they find the regionality of being able to have a listing in Sussex searchable by greater Philadelphia and greater DC agents who have pretty thick pockets, want to purchase property, a very attractive reason to cooperate inside of the MLS. So we're very happy to see that. Excuse me. And and this is part of a target for us too. I don't know, I have this tickle. 1 second, please. Excuse me. So we're targeting new construction. We're targeting property management. We're looking to really look at the MLS now and into the future as being a real estate data system, not just a real estate or residential resale data system, which is traditional for an MLS. We're seeing a lot of things changes in new construction. We're seeing a lot of new home builders who are building Main Street communities that include Wegmans and movie theaters eventually again, and restaurants. And that part of what they're doing here is they're actually purchasing property back again. So traditionally you sell a property and then the property gets resold by a realtor or a licensed professional. Or we're seeing people build into agreements now, they have an option to buy the property back again. They're reconsuming that property then for resale or to lease. And they're starting to see a lot of that property management opportunity in front of them that was before. Now that hasn't been necessarily in the Sussex area, but we've seen that grow in the greater Philadelphia areas like King of Prussia, Washington, D.C., Falls Church, those areas, this is becoming extraordinarily common, and we do anticipate it's going to move elsewhere. So we have to be very diligent to get new construction involved in the MLS, to get property management involved in the MLS. And we have several groups working right now to enhance our commercial and our multifamily and our land and lease, and make sure that we have really good environments for this. We're not there yet, I'll be the first to say. We are not there yet, but we are working on it because we see the future as being all of real estate as opposed to being concentrating so much just on residential resale. Again, just looking at the market, again, being a part of Bright obviously has not hurt the market much at all. I won't say it hasn't, it's been, the reason for the market growing the way that it is. I think the markets do their own thing in that way. But I would definitely say that being a part of Bright certainly has not hurt median sold price or days on market. So, and sort of the end message here is to finish strong in the fourth quarter. We see ample opportunities happening into the fall. The market is not slowing down. I'm sure the numbers that I showed you, you are living them and you're not surprised by any of them. But we see lots of new listings coming on the market, lots of showings, lots of demand, and inventory is still coming onto the market well above where we were in 2019. But if you want to do business this fall and winter, we don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to. Now, in all of this to help support it, what is Bright doing to help you advance and go forward? Well, we have some new enhancements coming out very soon. Some of them have already been released as we're doing these incremental updates going forward. One thing you can look forward to, likely now, early 2021, is a new brightmls.com website. Now, before everybody goes ahead and has like a small stroke or, like, you know, it's an episode, this isn't a new MLS, okay? It's a new website. We're looking to leverage more of our data to provide more services to you and a cleaner, better way to navigate. You're still going to be matrix-based. That's not really going to change, right? So it's really going to be a better way to navigate, a new design, customizable dashboards. And these are all based on feedback that we've heard from people that I want my MLS to be more made for me. I want to be able to customize it. I want it to be a great workspace that I help arrange, and we are moving in that direction. And essentially, we want you to spend more productive time in the MLS and less time fighting with navigation to get to what you need to do to get your business done. What I'm most excited about, though, is the new listing management enhancements. Some of these have already been put out. One of them is, I hope you've taken advantage of it, but you can now create listing management defaults inside, and hopefully Neda a little bit later on will show that off to you, where you can enter in default entries for things that you just repeat all the time for every listing that you put in. And you know, why repeat something that you put in all the time, the same information? So you can now create a default where that's going to be auto-filled for you based on your autofill. And if you have to change it for one listing, you can always change it, but it's going to autofill what you most commonly put in. Other things we're working on right now, scheduling the ability to publish a listing inside of the future. So if you have all of your T's, I's dotted and T's crossed, you have your photos up there, but your listing agreement's not into effect for like 3 or 4 days, what is set to publish automatically in 3 to 4 days? There's no reason to have to go in and manually do it. You can go in and create recurring open houses. This is great for new construction, by the way. So you can have, at a spec home or something, an open house every single weekend, enter it in once and have it recur every week or every 2 weeks, however long that you want to be able to do it. You can add the ability to share a draft. One of the biggest requests that we get, the ability to preview a listing before it's published to see how it's going to look like in the MLS, and then share that with the client so they can give it the stamp of approval. Now, we are definitely on target to do this, and we have aspirations here too. We just don't want to create a view of what's going to look like in the MLS, but we'd love to be able to create a view of how it's going to look like on other portals that you share it to. Now, I can't make promises there yet. It's aspirational, but we're working towards giving multiple previews, not just one. And then finally, a new media center. You can see a preview of that on my screen right here. An easier way to handle your photos, your floor plans, your virtual tours, etc. All of this designed to give you a better experience, give your clients a better experience, and to reduce the amount of time it takes you to listing, because that's a problem. Publishing listings takes anywhere between 45 minutes to 2 hours. Well, we want to reduce that time on average. Again, less time into MLS, more time making money with your clients. And then finally, moving towards a brand new MLS search experience called One Home, a new enhanced client portal, improved search page, brand new redesigned CMA reports, and also a brand new email layout to help reduce confusion, but moreover, to give your clients that experience of a 21st century website. So they don't feel like they're going back in time when they look at an MLS listing, because that core product has not been advanced within 10 years. So we're looking at a brand new experience for your client, and working with CoreLogic on this, they have invested a considerable amount of money. They're really concentrating on this experience for our clients and your clients going forward as well. So overall, thank you guys very much. I was at the closeout, being in the greater Philadelphia footprint here. or me living in Delaware County with a quick paraphrase from, Rocky Balboa, which is, in 2020, it's not about how hard he can hit, it's about how hard he can get hit and to get up and keep going forward. And I think in 2020, we all got gut punched pretty hard, but it's been amazing to see our subscribers in this market get up, dust themselves off, and keep moving forward. And to move forward at such a great rate to help your clients and help your customers. And we look forward to moving forward with all of you for this as well. So again, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. And I'm available here for questions if you have any about anything that I discussed today. Oh, and one item, if there's no questions that Neda did bring up that's going to be important, and I want to make sure that you guys get an update on that, is we do know that we're looking very hard at the ownership types inside of the MLS because of neighborhoods and buildings like Sea Colony that are a mix of different types of forms of ownership. I just want to give you guys an update on that, is that we have had a change in staff here. If any of you knew Michelle Yam or talked to her, she has retired, and we really are very thankful for all the work that she put in. But she was in the process actually of working on some guidance for ownership types for this area. We do have a new person who is coming in who is going to take that up, and I am personally going to work with this new rules manager on this to make sure that we're getting good guidance for everyone on how to handle these somewhat convoluted forms of ownership, where it can be a condo or a ground rent or a land lease, depending on a number of factors. So we hope to have that. I'm shooting for the end of the year, but we're going to continue to work on getting you more guidance on how to handle this process. Well, if there are no questions, guys, thank you very much. I do have to exit. I do have another meeting that I have to head into. But again, I appreciate all of your time and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Kurt, thank you. That was a lot of great information. Really appreciate it.
And we'll make sure that we get you slides for everything we went over today.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks, Carol. I'll send you the PowerPoint just as soon as he sends it over so you can send it out.
Yeah, that would be great. I appreciate it.
And if you want to, just let me know dates and times and we can get something else scheduled. So.
Okay, will do.
Perfect.
Everybody was in the meeting from 11 to like 12:10. So
Right.
a lot of them probably got off and started doing their busy stuff and all. So I think next time maybe what we'll do is we'll just schedule it on a separate time so that
That's fine.
we get better. Okay, have a great day.
You too.
Everyone.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.